think the beauty of this industry is that, I mean, the beauty is that no one is out there doing anything necessarily better than anyone else. You know, it's a surprisingly unarrogant industry. In fact, it's a very open industry. You know, a lot of us are talking among each other. There's a lot of sharing of information. It's a super exciting industry. It's also an industry that's kind of rocked by the fact that almost anybody can now get involved in this industry. You don't have market leaders who are doing things, and in fact the more dominant big guys that would have potentially led this drive into digital are kind of consumed with being so big now. And I think, you know, we're kind of proof of like this middle ground company, I think, in that we're not bedroom developers. We've kind of got that mindset, and we're not a massive company, but we've got the kind of financial muscle of it. And if you wanted to kind of experiment and invest in things, then you can. And I think it's an honest industry, and I'm seeing like us being able to kind of get in and disrupt in a way that maybe never would have been done before. It's incredible. Just being honest and just being truthful, and like, it goes a long way.
And many apps are just like a business card for people. It's like, oh yeah, we have an app, yeah, you know, and that's it. But it actually has a very, very negative knock-on effect, the whole app industry in general, because I mean there are people who take this space serious and they can't get their productions, they can't get visibility for their productions.
We spent 8-9 months just on the UI, UX. We have, you know, the little flower. We have a lot of gestures and animations in the product that are just very different. I wanted nothing about this app to be traditional. So if you look at the app, the experience, the technology, everything's novel. Like, I like the idea of doing something no one else has done before. It would not excite me to have built upon a previously implemented idea and just done it a bit better. That incremental gain, I like to just reinvent, and that's why, like, suddenly everything about it and yes, you know, even the gestures to a point. Look, we have 4.5 out of 5 stars on the App Store and stuff. We have brilliant reviews, but some people don't get the gestures. They don't like it. They don't understand it. That's cool. I mean, it's not made for everyone. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, it's not arrogant, but it's just, we went out to do a thing which was to push user interfaces to another level on mobile, to push technology to another level.
The beauty of this studio is that we believe in releasing things to learn, and we've learned so much. You know, there's been a huge reality check to us. We don't believe that the games we're making now are necessarily going to become a super hit, and we don't try to convince the studio that this is going to make millions of pounds. We were never doing things that were making it easy for us to make money, and that's because ultimately making money is not the driver. It's kind of making a product that kind of is exciting. And I think for me, seeing like the people talking about World Trail now, you can see, and seeing sort of people on Instagram painting their nails with World Trail pictures or making bags out of World Trail. That's kind of what it's all about. That for me is the wonder, and that's why we do it. And that's what, you know, come back to your passion question, that's what keeps me passionate, is that, wow, we're actually touching people's lives, and that's actually why we started ustwo. And after 8 years, we've finally managed to do it.
Some of these other we have a lot of angel investors in the Valley, and it's kind of like when one gets in, they all are interested, and then you have to have a very good product though. They don't get, it doesn't matter, people can argue there's this, you know, this click or whatever. It's not true. It's actually, if you don't have a good product, no one's interested, just fundamentally. But when you do have a good product, then it does help.
A lot of the stuff that we do is, it's innovation in its execution. Don't innovate in the idea, innovate in the execution of it. Quality of the product is definitely something which is key. However, there's a lot of great apps in the App Store that never get anywhere. So quality is obviously not the only thing there, it also has to be visibility.
It's about the App Store ecosystem and how to play the game. Like, ranking is so important, and getting featured by Apple is so important. So look, we launched on a Thursday, so we got featured on day 1, banners, everything. You know, playing the App Store correctly is so much more fundamental than the product itself, because if you can't get the discoverability and visibility, it's not even worth playing this game. I think I've got the idea now of the perfect storm, how to generate the perfect storm for Yes, there's the media element to it, and my age helps, but it's just the perfect storm with getting the right people to tweet, getting the right journalists to write about it, getting Apple to help, you know, all of those things is what got it to #1, and that's quite rare now because it's just so saturated, the system.
I think also surrounding yourself with great people. I mean, that's what ustwo is all about. I kind of said it before this. For me, it's like collecting great people and sort of having them in one place together and creating one big family. You go through the ups and downs together.
I have designers that said they'd never worked at a place that had given them so much freedom, which is ironic considering we limited down the market so much. But it is very free for them as long as you buy into their idea. And I think that is a result of strategy. It also creates a good work environment because people, well, I mean, if I thought I could design better than a designer, then I probably have hired the wrong designer.
That thing there consists of, a huge amount of technology behind it and kind of raw programming, but it's also kind of storytelling, sort of graphics, it's, theatrical sound design and music as you move through all of those different things. So even though we all have in the company, we all have kind of specialisms, and various people that actually with their hands do various different parts of the work, I think we all think across all of those things, and that's actually one of the most important things about this team, because I think that's when things work for us, is when all of those things gel together really well.
I think it's just going to be harder though in the ecosystem. It's going to be convoluted. There's just so much noise right now. Every day there's a big app that launches, it's just getting harder. And it's not like this, I think 3 years ago it was like go to mobile, there's loads of money. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think you really need to have a very well-formed product because people are competing for, you can't use more than probably, I don't know what the average is, like 5 or 6 apps a day. There's that, it's almost like the Dunbar number for apps. There's this like median, and then over it, it's just technologists, it's not common people. And you want to get with average consumers, they probably have, one social app, one information app, then messages, it's just email. It's really simple habits that you want to get into.
And then obviously there's the gaming space as well. But funny enough, there's the old concepts who sort of work again, the Guitar Hero, the, tap sort of stories, which is great. But of course, again, interesting to see what happens when there's sort of truly new formats developing there. I
just see it a sad world really in that there's so much money swishing about that it's almost so easy to get access to money and to release something that in reality no one is ever going to use. And okay, maybe that's good because it kind of helps to push the industry on, but I think there's a big naivety in some of the releases that come out, and sort of people thinking that they're going to sell it to Facebook or whatever. These things are not that realistic. But at the same time, I think new people coming into the industry, they have to learn that themselves. Maybe I'm too old now, maybe actually, and that's the beauty of this industry, is that actually those guys are coming and fueling this and keeping us on our toes here. And Christ, one day we might be the big guys that we think are kind of the dinosaurs now.
You have to just do it. So just do a prototype, whether you pay someone to do it, or you have a mate do it, the development, or you do it yourself. You have to go in showing something. No one listens to you when it's just an idea, it's just a PowerPoint. You have to have a working product, because that's when there it is. I can see how I can see how this is going to work because I can play with it and get the gist. Once you feel that's ready, then you push it out and see what happens. But there's still room for really good ideas.
I think there's only about 3 or 4 projects that come out every year that in the industry that you think, wow, I wish that was us. That actually changes maybe an industry, that actually touches real consumers on a level that means that they're it affects their life. And I think that's what we're chasing so badly. That's our motivation.
We were the first guys really to the party, which is just, you know, innovation. That's the only thing that's been driving it. It's not the money, it's not the credibility or anything, it's just getting it out there first.
Put it this way, if you're expecting to build a business, yes. If you want to have fun or maybe, you know, just have some great experiences, then go with a gut 100%, because it's just going to be about passion anyway.
You've got to be in it, you've got to try, you've got to learn from that, you've got to develop from that, and actually maybe it's the best time to get into it, because now, you know, people are kind of celebrating these failures and meeting new people from them, and it's a great time to be in it.